Welcome to a different but very special edition of Keep Punting podcast. It's hands down the best day in the racing calendar if you're a sand groper like us idiots. It's the Group 1 Railway Stakes weekend, and we thought in prep for such a pivotal day in WA racing, we'd get a pivotal figure in WA racing to match it. With us today, we have a form guru from Straight Up on Tab Radio and featuring on Giddy Up with Garth Hall. I'll still never forget the day last year where I was listening to it and I said that some bloke from Perth was coming on and it was fucking Rylie Morgan. He's a good friend of us boys here. How are we feeling, bro?
Thanks for having me, boys. That's a pretty good rap you've given me there, Phil. That's probably the best one I've ever received. So thanks, man. Full credit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no stress, brother. Thanks for coming on. To be honest, thank fuck you're here because we've been absolutely honking the past few weeks. And speaking of honking, Falks and Luke,
Falks has been backing a few winners, hasn't he? Falks, you've been backing a few winners lately, haven't you?
I'm all right. I always back some winners, but past the weeks have been shit. That's all right. You know?
Yeah, we've been horrible. I reckon.
It's certainly.
Backs any winners.
Phil's currently Phil's about 250 at the moment.
My strike rate, honestly, I reckon 0.6%. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So how are you boys going? You're hot. Falks, I can smell you from here sweating. You good?
Yeah, just came back from the gym, so sweating a bit.
Oh, well, it's not doing much for you. You still.
I reckon there might be a few horses sweating up in the yard out there on Saturday, I think, Phil.
No one will be sweating up at the yard more than Falks on Saturday, I'll tell you that much.
I might be sweating. Okay, everyone's going to be sweating.
No, but that's for sure. Parades are going to be a big thing this weekend.
Everyone's going to be running last. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it's obviously worth noting. If you are watching, it is obviously a different approach this week. As I'm on the other side of the country / world. So we're going to give this a crack for a bit. We'll see how long with us. Probably 2 weeks, I reckon, max. But we'll see how we go. But yeah, how what's our confidence levels looking like for this week, and how are we all feeling?
Who's going first?
Yeah, I can kick off. Yeah, feeling good. I think it's a quality program out there at Ascot on the weekend, and I don't think you'll find two better. Features than we've got in the WA Guineas and the Railway Stakes, and I think that it's certainly a couple of races that are going to divide opinion, I think, is the most important thing. So you're going to get a different sort of range of views on the races, and that's the best part of it. It's opinions game.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It's because a lot of them, there's like favoured horses in the market, and you're either going to go with one or the other. Almost everyone's going to have an opinion. So no, I agree. Luke, Adam, any confidence?
Actually, you guys will go.
There you go. No, look, I think this week Ascot looks like a decent part. Actually, back some winners for once. So I don't know how the track is, but freaking from last week, obviously the inside was in the inferior ground, so everyone's losing there. But I feel I fixed that and sorted it out.
Yeah, that's one conversation for later on. The tracks.
The card looks unreal. I think earlier in the day, you're going to get a couple of roughies come through, and I personally think the favourites will win the back end of the program. But outside of Ascot, everywhere else looks really tough. So,
it's fucked. Everywhere else is fucked.
Yeah, you'll be. I think you'll be doing your dough if you're betting at Cranbourne or Kembla.
Yeah.
All the best, eh? All the best betting there. Jesus. I was looking today at the weather predictions, and I was like,
that's the hardest bit, isn't it?
I was like, fuck, as if Sydney's raining. It's been dry for ages, and I realised I looked outside and it was raining. Like, fuck, just all I had to do was because
that's the hardest bit about Kembla and Cranbourne. They've got both up to like 10 mils of rain forecast. So you can't bet till during the meeting. You just got no idea.
No, that's for sure. All right. So before we get into the good stuff, Rylie being our first time guest, we're gonna just have a bit of a quick fire. It's basically your favourite and your least favourite of each of these categories. We'll just throw a few at you. It's basically what we started off the podcast with. We gave it to everyone on our Instagram page. So, first off, Favourite, least favourite horse of all time?
Of all time, the horse that got me into racing is definitely the Great Flash Attacker. Definitely my favourite horse of all time for sure.
Yeah.
And my least favourite horse, that's a tough one actually. I'm trying to think of one horse that always grabs me. And you know what? To be brutally honest, the horse that always grabs me is Hot Z. Hot Z. Whenever I back Hot Z, he always he doesn't win, and then when I hop off, he does what he did last week, and he comes through and wins. So he's definitely up there.
Yeah, fair enough. He does that to me too, the bastard. All right, now jockey. I know it's touchy because you got a bit more of a professional profile than we do, but jockey, give it a crack.
Favourite jockey for me, I'm going to have to say here in WA for sure. It just has to be William Pike. I think he's the benchmark clearly. And one jockey I've never been able to catch through the course of my time in racing is Paddy Carberry. Never been able to catch Paddy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fucking Will loves Paddy Carberry. Luke's next, track.
Favourite track? From a fairness of betting, definitely Flemington. Flemington for sure. Flemington by a mile. And least favourite track, I would have to say. Least favourite track, I'm going to say the provincial circuits over here, like York, Narrogin. They're just even Albany. Just good luck finding a winner there.
Yeah, fair enough. And last one, your best and your worst punting memory.
Best win would have to be it was a 3-leg multi on a cold wintry day at Belmont, and the horses involved were Devoted, God Has Chosen, and the last leg was Atlantis Beach, all on the same day, and that was a 3-legger. That was my best win on the punt. And I reckon, in terms of sickest beat, plenty of recency bias in this one, but it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But last week, I think I took every single drift price on Oscar's Fortune from $2.70 right out to $4.20 on Betfair. Every single price I kept going, and 200 to go. If I'd switched off the TV, you would have thought he would have won the race. So that was not a fun last 50 metres with Ripcord Savage in the line down the outside grabbing him.
Oh, that sucks. And,
you got people saying that Ripcord's now a Winterbottom chance. Surely they're mad.
I think they are. I think it was a visually pleasing win, not as good once you dive into the data as the eye test.
Yeah, I was going to say the rate. It didn't rate anything spectacular. I think Oscar's Fortune's more of a chance in the Winterbottom, to be completely honest with you. But
that was.
I agree. Still, I agree.
Yeah, we'll get into that later on. But thanks, Rylie. Bit of insight into life and love. All right, let's get into Black Bookers. We've got a fuck ton of racing to get through. So Black Bookers from the week. I'll go first. I'll shoot through them. I think for mine, big one was Natuno coming out of it was a Sunny Coast. Was it this weekend? Come first up after about a year off against some decent horses. Jumped out of the ground and took the piss out of them. It's obviously destined for better class races than that. Definitely one to follow. I think Duchess of Gossip at Ascot, that was incredibly unlucky. Stuck on the inside rail as well, where you didn't necessarily want to be this weekend. I think that's definitely one to follow. Acquitted from Newcastle, absolute huge run from the back, got stuck basically the whole straight and got out in the end, absolutely flashed home. And another two, I've got Harmissian, which was at the Melbourne track. Where did Melbourne race this weekend? Caulfield. Yeah, that in Clay Moore's race, the biggest win I've ever seen. This thing basically got there's another horse that got held up, got out, and it's going quite well under Clayton Douglas. And lastly, which is a bit of a sneak peek for later on today, Billy Ray. This thing was a moral beaten at Ascot this weekend against Alsafina and the rest, and I reckon it might be a big chance in the race that we'll preview later on. But Luke, what are your black bookers from this weekend?
All right, so I don't think we have any of the same, to be honest, which is interesting for once. I've got 3 from Caulfield. I've got Meritus. This thing was held up, didn't get a lot of room, and ran on well against the bias. Skybird, this again was massive against the bias, and I reckon there's no doubt that that'll be the best horse coming out of that race. And I think obvious winner, but Magic Time, I think, put that in the black book. That'd be a future, another dual Group 1 winner moving forward. 3 wide, no cover on a hot speed, and did it on the so-called inferior lanes out wide. 1 out of Sunshine Coast, same race as you feel, Zoo Style. 4 wide, no cover, was massive to stick on. 1 from Morpheville, Camford, which actually runs later, so it runs this weekend again, so we'll be touching on that. Second runner, it's had no luck. It should have won on Saturday with no doubt. Ran into backsides the last 100. 2 from Ascot, Holy Enchantment. Thing was back and the money was right. I think this is on track for the Perth Cup. And El Zafina, again, that was a great railway trial. Just coiled up and didn't use too much energy, considering it's on the backup. And then 2 from Newcastle, Tabby Time. I think you can follow this thing through the grades. It's a smart horse. And Rustic Steel, which I think now third up's ready to peak. We put this in the black book the other week, and I think now third up over 14 of a mile will be peaking to go. Vaux?
No, I've got a few. Just to write them down.
Did you?
That's to write them down. I've got Arkansas Kid. Over 1,400 metres. I thought that was huge against the trap pattern. It's probably going in the paddock now, though. I doubt they're probably going to continue racing, so probably something to follow in autumn. Ayrton as well. It's going to the Gold Rush, so we know that. But that was really bad in the straight. I thought it would have gone much closer again against the trap pattern as well. And they've got Tabby Time as well. I reckon that's a really good horse following for the grades. That's it.
Alrighty, I've got 5 horses to follow from day 1 of the Pinnacles last week. The first of those came in race 2, Wango Award. Grant Alana Williams, William Pike. This horse, she just had no chance with the way the race was run. I thought the way she finished off down the outside from near last in running was outstanding, and she's ready to win if she draws a barrier wherever she goes next start. A horse you guys need to all keep your eye on is San Fabrizio. Now, this horse was very unlucky last week, trialled up superbly before that, and this is a horse who I think we can expect once he gets here that Damien Oliver might be aboard this horse next start, and they may have set this horse for that race. He does hop aboard because he was actually the man who told Stephen Miller, who trains the horse, to purchase his horse and race it here in WA, as he thought it would be suited. So there's a bit of a backstory there, but I think San Fabrizio is one you can follow moving forward. Out of the Jungle Mist, Duchess of Gossip was luckless, and for mine would have won the race if she got even luck at the top of the straight. And Rusty Dreams, ridden against her usual pattern, she rolled forward from a really wide gate. She was outstanding the way she stuck on. I think she's going to play a big part in the next 2 instalments of that Fillies and Mares series, ridden a bit quieter with a bit of cover because her first up performance was outstanding as well. And also Goes to Walks came through, the Colonel Reeves. I thought first up off the back of a really good trial. He hit the line really nicely, and he's a horse who can certainly win more races as well.
Beautiful. Yeah, some decent black bookers there. Anything for the bin?
Who's going?
Anyone? I'll chuck one in real quick. Just track patterns. I feel like in hot weather, like in these weather conditions recently, they've been a joke, especially in Melbourne and Sydney. The bias, it's almost every week. You got to wait to 1, 2, 3 races before you chuck a bet on. It's just been really, really bad recently in comparison to.
It's not even that. It's every time a track returns. Like when Caulfield returns a leader, it's always like that.
Same happens to Rosehill a week ago.
Ascot, Rosehill, Moonee Valley. It's all the same. I think once a couple of weeks, it just settles, obviously, and gets fair along the way. But yeah, it's shocking like that.
The only track
there were a couple.
Their shot is normally Flemington, normally anyway. And other Cup week was pretty bad as well.
Yeah, it was.
You had in-fence leaders, and then Melbourne the first day on Derby Day, and then the Tuesday you had the complete opposite. It was near impossible to lead near the fence. It was swoop.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
I'm happy to put a couple of horses, not exactly in the bin, but I think the bird has flown for them this carnival over here in WA. Those two being Admiration Express, who trolled up really, really well. Looked as though she'd be having a big say in these races leading up to the railway. She just hasn't met the mark this time around. And also My Bella May, who was backed for an absolute stack last week in the Colonel Reeves. She had every conceivable in the run there. She got a glorious run for it. Sue Walks was able to pick up and sprint straight past her, so she had no excuses last week, and I think she'll find it tough to win any more races this carnival from here.
I couldn't agree more. I thought she was a moral. I thought she was going to be an absolute moral, but what?
But I thought it was because of the fence, because of the way the fence was playing. So
No, but it wasn't a fence though. It was a certain spot in the straight, I believe, like at the 400, 300 meter mark. Like it was. She had every chance. She had every conceivable.
Anyway, I'll quickly shoot out my two winners. I'm the same as Riley. My Bella May, this thing is clearly overrated. It had every chance. I was on for a massive result for it to win, so it's probably speaking to the pocket a bit, but that was disappointing and I won't have again. Others clearly went straight past it, despite there being this talk about the inside being slightly off. And then one from Caulfield, Saltier. This thing just can't win, so I'm happy to bin it.
But Saltier
you can't. That will win. That will win if it gets a good run.
That's a bit stiff. That was a terrible ride. I thought last week.
Caulfield with 3 wide and still won, and of course wasn't good enough. All right, anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on. Let's get into races. Otherwise, this episode's going to be 16 hours. So let's go on to Cranbourne. What a track. What a track, Cranbourne. We're going straight to race 9, 1,600 metres, the Cranbourne Cup, the time honoured. Okay, so Riley, why don't you kick it off?
Cranbourne Cup, boys. I think this is a race that until you see how much weather they get and the sort of the level of, I guess, how soft that track gets is one you can sort of just play a little bit sort of lightly at this stage. But the horse that I do like when horses are really set for races, and I know that Gavin Bedgood has really set this horse Just Folk for this race. It's been the target from a long way out, and in these sort of not provincial, but these sort of outer city cups, I think you want to be following the horses that this isn't the afterthought for. This is the race that they've been set for from a long way out, and they're peaking when they get here. And I think Just Folk, although it is a very wide open event, I think Gavin Bedgood has said all the way out this is the race he's been targeting this horse at.
Fair.
I couldn't agree more. It's a good each way price, $7. I'll take it in the week. Third up as well. Just needs a bit of obviously cutting the ground, and I think it probably even goes down to like $4.50, $5 on the day if it is a bit wet. But also we have a save on Foxy Cleopatra. That horse is obviously on the up as well. Hit the line really well against Ski Whiff. But second up, probably is looking for 2,000 metres. But yeah, I think who's the trainer again? Bloody forgot.
Buston.
Yeah, Buston. That's right. I think he's just kind of just chucked it in here for now. And I think it's actually going to the Northerly from what I've heard. So, big watch there. So 2 plays, Just Fork and Foxy Cleopatra. What?
Where'd you hear that?
No, you know what?
It is. He might be going Northerly.
I'll do my tips and I'll touch on.
The plane.
I heard. I don't know what I watched today.
I'm going to
it today.
About it. Relax.
Yeah, there you go. Might be a late plane, yeah.
My main play is on Foxy Cleopatra as well. So this thing was meant to come to Perth in 2 weeks to Northerly, but apparently there's no flight, so it can't come here.
Oh, there you go.
Only the one flight.
Anyway, it should have won first up. I think it's smart and quite progressive. Can also handle good or wet ground. So I think if you were to back it now, you're right, unknown with the weather. And then I want to have a play on either the 1 Pounding if it stays dry, or the number 2 Just Fault if it gets wetter. So that's my 2 plays.
Guys, so I've got exactly the same as Gareth. So I've got a wet play and I've got a dry play. So a wet play is Just Folk. Wet and shit. Wet play is Just Folk and Foxy Cleopatra. I think it's a no-brainer. If it gets wet, like Riley stated, like this thing's been set for the race. It's now trained at the track. Gavin Bedgood. Huge chance. And it's gone quite well this prep, I believe. And then obviously Foxy Cleopatra looks like it's really progressive, and the stable have a massive opinion on it. The way that they're speaking about it, they think it's a moral.
So it's definitely losing.
If it's drier,
there it is. The M word.
Definitely losing.
Look, I didn't say it. Look, it's different, yeah? If it's drier, then you definitely have to have something on pounding because it's the class of the race. It just can't get through any cut in the ground. I will say, though, if it is dry, which it doesn't look like by the weather predictions, have a little nibble, the change that you have in the middle of your car, chuck it on a horse at 61-1 called Ryazan. Last start with the blinkers on, different horse. It's been honking ever since being here in Australia. And then they put the blinkers on last start. It was very, very unlucky and very good behind Maktub, who's absolutely flying, and was pretty unlucky against the pattern last week. So have your $5 on that, but your main two, obviously Foxy, Just Vote, and Pounding. All right, now let's go to the second best track in the world after Cranbourne, Kembla Grange, and we'll go to another time-honoured race, the Gong, race 7, 1,600 metres. Luke, we'll start off with you. What do you reckon?
Yeah, not a race I'm actually keen to play in, but I'll give a tip for the sake of it. Got another Tommy 2 play here. Major bet, I think you have to be at Osipenko at 340. If it's fit, it just brains these, and if it's right, or if it has had a long prep and there has been multiple setbacks, so that's the risk you're taking, but take on trust. And then I'm gonna go with the toppy each way against CFS at $9. Again, this is another weather watch though, because this horse only likes good ground. So I'd be waiting, but it's just flying and it can prove that it can carry the weight. So they're my two plays if it's dry.
Rylie, what do you reckon?
The Gong for me, boys. I think Osipenko is the clear class in the race. I thought the trial was good. Gets the blinkers on for the first time. It was a pretty good starting team from the stable. The only, I guess, slight concern is the 6-7 week gap between runs, but you can sort of expect Chris Waller's kept him up to the mark, and I think he looks he should be marked clear favourite in the race, which he is at the moment. But I don't want to be losing. I want to have something small as a saver. Number 9, Designated Jack, who for mine has been a horse who's always promised to win a good race like this. He probably just hasn't found the right race in his career to date just yet. The blinkers go on for the first time. He's unbeaten at the mile. Jason Collett's a good rider for the type of horse that he is. I've always been following this horse with a bit of interest and think that he could have found a nice race on the weekend there as well. So I'm happy to save on him.
Beautiful. Faux?
Yeah, I'm with Osipenko, obviously the class horse in the race. If it turns up, should be winning. But also, I couldn't decide between two roughies, so I'm going to have 3 plays here. Back the last start, Spangler did really well. I think that this horse, suits him from the outside, and I think that's how the track's going to be playing at Kembla. I think the rail is going to be off, and probably you want to be a bit wide on the track. So I'm going to go with Spangler and also Communist, who just behind in the Golden Eagle. I think this horse is a bit, I don't know, doesn't find a lot of form these days, but I think I might have found a bit of form from last start. So I'm just going to follow it at 20-1. I'll definitely take that too. So 3 plays: Communist, Spangler, and Osipenko.
Yeah, wow, Faux. This is probably the most similar I've ever seen to you in my whole life. But look, I'm Osipenko too. $3.50. If it's up to its best form, if it's ready to go, which I'm sure Chris Waller has it ready to go, it should be an M word. But anyway, it's getting in unbelievably on the way, Mac on all that stuff. I won't say it, boys, right? Because I'm better not to. I won't say it. But like Faux said, if the track is quite rain affected, I think you have to have something on Spangler. I think they'll be coming out wide. This horse, when it gets wet, it just grows another leg. So number 13, 14-1, I think it is at the moment. It could be a lot shorter on the day if it starts raining, which by the looks of it is. And then I want to have another small coffee cup bet again on a horse at again 61-1 coincidentally. Number 14, Art Cadeau. So this horse was absolutely huge last start. It drops 10 kilos. This is its home track, and it loves cutting the ground, and it's been trained for this race. So this is its target. 1,600 meters is a query. I can see that, but I don't know. I feel like the Price brothers know what they're doing and targeting it towards the right sort of race. And yeah, as I said, it was huge last start. So yeah, they're my plays. Now we're going to the bread and butter for all of us, probably Rylie more so. based on our current track record. But Ascot. So we're going to go to race 5, the AJ Scahill, I believe it's called, 2,100 metres. I'll go first. Wait, what?
Tim Cahill.
Yeah, Tim Cahill, the headers and that. All right, so I'll go first. So I'm going to be covering on the fave. So it's definitely a bet, number 1, Casino 17. But it's not my major bet. I think I want to have a major bet each way on number 12, Queen Elena. This horse is a dry track horse. It's been prepping up perfectly towards a Perth Cup. I know Casino was ridiculously unlucky last up, probably moral beaten. But I don't know. I have like a soft spot for Queen Elena, and I don't know. I feel like each way at what is it, $8 at the moment, is a ridiculous price. It was against the pattern the other day, absolutely flew home. Yeah, each way all day. Luke?
I'm playing it the same as you. Major bet on the topic, Center 17. I think every bloke at Ascot will be on this thing because it was dead set moral beaten last time. But then again, the value is with Queen Elena each way, the number 12 at around the $8 mark. I think was it third up now? I think top of my head.
Third up.
Yeah, third up now. It's finally ready to go. I think it will run a drum for sure, assuming there's no stupid track pattern. So I think them two are the players, and I think the only other thing that's a chance of winning would be Black Fantasy coming from a different form line. I think that's about. I don't think much else can win outside of them.
Riley, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm pretty. I think Casino 17. He was just absolutely like listening at Lucky Gray. Pretty confident in saying that if he gets out when he needs to, he wins the race. And from barrier 3, you'd hope in a race that doesn't look like it's got a great deal of tempo or obvious speed and influences engaged, Pike can ride him positive out of the barriers and try and hold a spot from that good gate forward of midfield and keep him off the fence, most importantly. And with that 2 kilo weight swing he gets on another Chino, who is one of the key horses I think that will roll forward in the race. I think he looks hard to beat, and I think he can square up the ledger heading towards the Perth Cup.
Yeah, I'll go. Look, I would have gone with Black Fantasy, but I don't really like it Black backing up again, so I'm going to leave it out. I think it's a good horse and it's on the up. But look, other than that, I think Casino 17 is just too good. Last start was just terrific. So if Pike gets it in a good position, peels out, I don't even think Queen Elena would get probably close to it, to be honest with you. So Queen Elena had all the favours last day, even though it was against track pattern. But yeah, I think Casino 17 is just, almost the M word. I'm not going to say it, but yeah, if it gets a good run, should be winning.
No, say it.
No, I'm
we'll back Queen Elena. So let's go to race 6, 1,400 metres, the Carbine Club. I'll go first. So, like I said, there was a moral beaten this weekend. I'm convinced it was a moral beaten anyway against Alsafina and the like. Number 10, Billy Ray, $18 a win, $4.40 a place. Yes, I know it's dropping down to 1,400 metres, dropping down to 200, probably doesn't suit it. But it was as if it had a barrier trial last week. If you're thinking about, the fact that it should have gone close to beating Alsafina, although with a huge, weight drop on it, it's pretty good form for a race like this. I think it's ever since it's gone to Kalgoorlie, it's just absolutely flying. And the race before its win was quite dominant. So I'm happy to have something on that each way. And I also would like to have a cover. As you can see, Riley, we like our Tommy 2 plays to save our ass. Also going to have a cover on number 4, Vast Art at $5.50. Fresh, barrier 1, I think it's going to be cuddled behind the speed. This horse is very smart, was very progressive last prep, and it trialled up quite well in its last trial. And I think it's just going to go through the grades this prep quite easily. So I think they're definitely my 2 bets. Falx, what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, Vast Art as well. I actually love this horse. I reckon it's absolute quality. So first up, trialled well. Should get a good map on the speed as well. I think it does go a bit more forward than usual. I'm not too sure, but from the way it used to race, it used to do that. But in saying that, Magnificent Andy as well was very unlucky last start. Probably a few unlucky from the last race that are in this race now. But yeah, this probably does find a race that actually can win for once. And yeah, so 2 players, Magnificent Andy and Vast Art.
Yep, I'll jump in. Yeah, I'm with. I agree with all your points. Actually, I think Billy Ray's a terrific winning chance at rough odds, and he's one that would certainly be going in my quaddie. But there's a bit of a tip around for Billy Ray after that run last weekend, and knowing Billy Ray, when people do like him, he usually turns it up and puts in a bad one. So and then gets you when you least expect it. So that's just the worry about him, because he's the type of horse who's always listening in to see what people are saying about him. But I thought Magnificent Andy was luckless last week in the RJ Peters. I've no doubt if he did get room on straightening, when they really cluttered up and he was just the meat in the sandwich, he would have been having a big say in that finish. And I think he's going to appreciate a much stronger tempo here with Big Screen really rolling along and likely to roll along at a pretty good clip as well. And I think that style of race we've seen suits him down to the ground. He's winning the Hannons when Big Screen was leading, doing the same thing, was in a similar vein. So I think with the run he's going to get, he's going to prove very hard to beat. But I do have to side up as well with Falks, that Vast Art poses a genuine threat. And off the trials were outstanding. This horse has been trialling like Black Caviar, and just keep an eye on, if he does really run well on the weekend, he's going to get, even though he's drawn barrier 1 and likely to end up 3 back the fence, the horses drawn around him are going to take him a long way into the race. You've got Let's Gallivant drawn 2, Magnificent Andy drawn 4, Big Screen giving a big kick on straightening. I think he'll get plenty of room to move when he needs it. And just keep an eye on that $21 all in with Tab Touch for the Gold Rush, as he looks at every bit for mine off what we've seen so far, a group quality animal.
Nice. I'm with another Tommy 2 play here, both coming out of the RJ Peters last Saturday. So I'm also with Rylie with Magnificent Andy. This is obviously on the quick backup. I think back to 1400 metres would be better suited. And it clearly should have been home Let's Gallivant last Saturday, in my opinion, with a bit more room. It's now third up off a little freshen up. It was only 1200 jumping straight to 15 last start. So good performance considering the jump in distance. And I'd rather have that over Gallivant. It's got a gun draw. And then again, I'm also with Billy Ray at around $18 and $4.40 each way. Zero luck and arguably should have gone close last Saturday. It gets 2.5 kilos off Magnificent Andy as well. I'm not sure why this is such a rough price. The negative is back to 1400 metres. However, it has won on the backup before and ran really well, I think running third too. So definitely something on each way and 100% goes in the quaddie.
Beautiful. So Billy Ray, Jesus, bit of an each way on that. I will be definitely having one. Look, Billy Ray might.
That's Billy for you.
Billy Ray might listen into what people say, but he won't be listening to me. So we're all good. All right, now one of our big features of the day, the WA Guineas, race 7, 1600 metres. I think, Rylie, you can take us away here. Give us your opinion on the race, how it's going to be run. Go for it.
Yeah, this is a cracking race. This is arguably just as good as the Railway for mine. You've got 2 high-class fillies that currently dominate the market up against the boys, and it's pretty hard to line them both up with each other, as they haven't met yet. So there's certainly a fair bit of interest heading into this year's Guineas. And while she is worse off 4 kilos, which is a pretty fair swing, especially for a filly, I'm backing 2 horses here. I'm taking one out of your book, boys, doing the Tommy 2 play. But the first horse I'm interested in backing is Keshi Boom. And I just can't get the way she was able to pop off Super Smink's back and drop her off on Cup Day out of my mind. And while it was a day that was suiting those off speed, she was 3 back the fence in running, made her run virtually alongside Super Smink. And to be honest, made her look second rate. So I know with the weight swing, she's going to have a lot of followers to turn the tables, but last week we saw her in a Champion Fillies win in pretty dominant fashion, and she ticked that mile box in a really strong run race. They went really hard there. So there's certainly 1600 metres proves no issue for her, which is a box that Super Smink is yet to tick. And she's still unbeaten at the races. Pike can land midfield with cover on an undefeated filly who possesses a proper turn of foot, and despite the swing at the weight, so just find it hard to jump off. Keshi Boom as the first of my players, and the second of those is also Zip Away, who was huge in the Faritha against the pattern of the day. Best last 200 of the race, drawn barrier 12 of 13. He's screaming out for a mile, and from barrier 4 should land close enough to that one out, one back position in running. And I'm not sure if you boys heard it post-race, but after the Faritha, Neville Parnham bullishly declared this horse will win the Guineas if he draws a gate, which is pretty hard to knock, and with the setup on the weekend, it's pretty hard to argue that he's not the top seed of the boys at least. So I'm with Keshi Boom and Zip Away in what's a terrific race for the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, no, wow, that's it's pretty spot on way of looking at it. I look at it very, very similar. So I think first off, I want to say that I don't think this crop altogether is anything too special. In comparison to our previous few years. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Looking at the ratings that they've produced thus far, we might see a massive peak in the Guineas this weekend. I don't think that they compare to what we've had in the previous few crops. But after much deliberation and headaches, I'm also siding with number 14, Keshi Boom at 290. Yes, it's backing up. Yes, Pikey's not sold with the distance. Yes, it ran it out, but he reckons it didn't have too much to give at the end of it by listening to a interview on Tab Touch this weekend. Yes, it has Super Smink, has 4 kilos on it, but the way that it went past Super Smink the other day, it was like Super Smink was stuck to the rail. Like it was breathtaking. It was unreal. So I think it's going to need more than 4 kilos and a shocking run for it to be losing against Super Smink. But I do think there is quite a few horses that you can chuck into multiples if you're looking to do a first 4, etc. Like, for example, you've got Cosmic Crusader has been doing well against the older horses. Zip Away, as Rylie mentioned, is absolutely flying, probably the best chance among the boys. A Lot of Good Men was almost as big as a run as I thought Zip Away last start as well. It was just cut it up on the rail and sort of got out at the same time Zip Away made its run. So I think that's also a nice roughie. But my roughie for the race has to be number 7, Autumn Rebel. At $16 a win, $3.60 a place. It was an absolute moral beaten against Zip Away 2 ago. And then it made amends last start with the most ridiculous win I've ever seen. Yes, probably the track pattern was helping it out that day. And how loudly I screamed at home probably lives rent-free in my head as well. So that probably helps. But I think it's going to absolutely eat up the mile. And I don't know if all of these horses will necessarily do so. So I don't know if it can beat the 2 faves, but it Defs has the X factor in the field for mine. So Faux, what do you reckon?
Look, I think from a punting perspective, I think, in my opinion, Zip Away's ridiculous price probably should be about $4 or $5. So if you're getting like $8 each way all day, that obviously was very good last start, tucked the line really well. So Zip Away at $8, and look, I can't decide between Keshi Boom and Super Smink. I'm just going to go with Super Smink because I need it for my multis to win. In saying that, I also need Keshi Boom to place. So hopefully that can win and then Keshi Boom can place. But yeah, that's my 2 plays.
So you're not talking out of your pocket at all?
No, I'm not talking out of my pocket.
Well, I'm playing it pretty similar to you, Faux. I think Zip Away, each way you can't go wrong. The price is stupid. I don't know. I think the markets again put it down to kind of a 2-horse race, and I think that's just completely wrong.
I actually think it's going to jump at $5 on the day.
I reckon
Faux, do you want to move your head back 2 smidges? Because at the moment you're doing a Colgate commercial.
Wait, man, move back. Can you even hear me, or is it not working?
No, I can't hear you. Luke, go talk.
So yeah, Zip Away for me each way, drawn a plum. I can't get this run out of my head at last start when there was the clear leader bias. And Parnham said that's his clear top pick ahead of investment strategy, which if it leads again could give a good kick, and if it's a bit leader bias. And I'm sticking with 13 Super Smink. I think this horse is a miler beyond, and I think if there's one horse that can really explode and prove its top of the crop here, it would be this. Gets a 4 kilo weight swing, and I think Keshi Boom is quite brilliant. So I feel like it's more of a 1,200 a foot. Well, you'll find out it's more maximum might be 14 when it gets up in class against harder horses. But obviously can't knock it, and you got to pick one or the other. So I'm with them too, Zip Away and number 13 Super Smink.
Yeah, beautiful. So I can't wait till investment strategy leads the whole way and wins, and we all look like dickheads. But anyway, It's gone to the railway. Group 1, race 8, 1,600 metres. I think we need a bit of a Rylie preview again. What do you reckon? How do you think the race is going to be run? Race shape, speed map, everything.
Yeah, okay. I
Speed
think
map.
we'll talk about the map. I think you can expect to see Maricino and Massimo charge across from their gates. For mine, it's going to be interesting with Massimo because I think he's clearly suspect at a mile. Do they perhaps not try and get across with as much aggression, which could leave Maricino in front on his lonesome, which would certainly bring a bit of interest to the race as he's been very well backed. It was as much as $51 earlier in the week. He's now into $18, so there's been plenty of support around for the old boy Maricino. Tuvalu will roll forward and sit one out, one back, and Search and Rocks will be happy to just pop in behind him, I think, from her good gate. Probably got Comfort Me will come across. Bustler likely lands 3 back the fence. I'm not sure he has the speed to hold up leaders back. Alsafino, midfield cover. Carly's Karma will look for cover in the moving line as well. And I think Tricks of the Trade's going to need a lot of luck if you like him. Dom to Shoot will try and find that same moving line as Carly's Karma. And then you've probably got Star Trade, Roots, the Velvet Queen, and Forgot You likely bringing up the rear from a map perspective, boys.
Yeah, no, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I didn't go that in depth, but I didn't look at that at all. But that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so usually the way we go about our group 1s, we have our $100 strategies. So what is our current leaderboard, Luke, for our $100 strategies? What are we looking at?
So it's been on the downturn for a while. We made a small profit off Magic Time this week. But Phil, you're still in the lead with $442.31. I'm second with $280.75. And Faux is negative $622.
Me. Just got to do the $100 straight outs, I think, from now on. Far out.
All right. So, Faux, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, hit me up. All right. So there's a lot of people talking a lot of crap about Alsafita, and I saw $7.50 on the sports bet in the future market. It's been Jesus Christ. Look, I just think this is just the plan. It is the plan. Everyone knows it's the plan. So I thought it was a perfect run last start. Get held up a little bit, tap the line. There's no way Grant and Lana wanted to give it a gut buster, and they didn't do that. So gets the weight swing now, third up, ready to go. Pike on board, draws a barrier. Look, it's definitely my major bet. I'm going to have $90 on that. And then also the Velvet Queen, because I love this horse. Actually, it was a very good first start. I don't know what they're doing, though, with the prep. It's a bit concerning. I thought it would be at least third up into it. But look, I could take $10 on that, a 30-1. And Paddy Carby on board, not a bad, in my opinion, map for it. If it does swing out wide, it does like to attack on the outside lanes usually instead of the inside. So, look, Alsafine just beat it by a head. I'm pretty sure last start they did verse each other. So yeah, those two plays there.
Lucas, what do you reckon?
So I'm seeing the split similar, $90 on one and $10 on another, but slightly different horses. I'm also with the $90 to win on Elzafina. Like Falk said, this has had the perfect prep. This has always been the target. Dropped 6 kilos from last week. Blinkers on, perfect draw. Pikey, Grand Alana, Williams, the usual combo. What more could you want really in the railway? $750 I think was probably too rough earlier in the week. $460 is probably the right price now. But I reckon it's probably only that price because you've got the flavour coming from over east. And most of them are drawn poorly, obviously except Tuvalu, but that's going to carry a lump of weight, which doesn't go down well if you look at the history books. And then I'm having a $10 bet on number 4, Dom to Shoot, at about $21. This was a massive run first up. It was 3 wide, the trip, no cover, and it should have won. It comes into barrier 9 after the emergencies are out, assuming no scratchings. Will be better suited up to the mile. And if this can get in the 3 wide line with a bit of cover, I think this thing will explode and go awfully close. If you look back last prep, it actually versed Bustler. Did a heap of work. Bustler was, I think, $1.60 favourite over a mile and still couldn't run past it. And Bustler's 10-1. So I think this thing at $21, I think is probably still over the odds for mine.
All right. So for myself, I see it a little bit differently. I think Alsafina is under the odds personally. Especially now at the 460 quote. 750 quote I think made sense. yes, this has been the plan. Grand London Williams, they're genius, like, master plan trainers when they target horses, etc. But I've just not been 100% convinced on its runs thus far, like the rest of you. So first off, I'm having $10 on Dom to shoot, like Luke. It was absolutely huge first up. Definitely running the race. It drops 4 kilos. Seems like it's flying. The only massive negative is, as bad as it is, Jordan Turner. He's got a horrible record on the horse.
He does. Mate, I was looking at that before. You're not wrong.
Mate,
He's never got closer.
I've actually watched, and I watched today. I was bored. I watched every replay. It's bad. It's really bad. So that's my only concern. Otherwise, I generally would have had more on the horse and backed it properly on the day. Sorry, Jordan. Not that you're listening, but so I'll have $10 on that, and then I will also have another $10 on number 10, Carly's Karma. Now, I can't let this race go around without me having a cent on this horse, because this just seems like a master plan by Summer Dixon. I like the way she trains. Apparently, Michael Poy has been almost sleeping with the horse as well, to ensure that he's got the ride, he knows the horse, and he's going to be given it every chance. And I like him as a rider too. I think Barrier 8's a perfect draw for it. It's going to get the perfect run, and I think it's a massive chance in the race. I have to have my $30 on our Safina just in case it does win. Just purely on trust on Grand London Williams and how good they are at this sort of thing and getting horses to jump out of the ground on the right day. But my major bet is $50 on Tuvalu. It's got that A1 alligator blood form, Antino form. That's better than these. It's been aimed up for this for so long as well. I remember listening to interviews, Giddy Up Garth Hall, with Uncle Lindsay, and him saying that this was its target all the way at the start of the spring. So I'm going to trust in him. I like him as a trainer, as you should. It wants sun on its back as well, ever since it's had those issues and everything like that. So it's going to go to Perth. I reckon it's going to absolutely thrive. It's ready for this. And I don't think there is going to be a bit of pace. It's a Group 1, but I think it's just going to sit in the perfect spot. Jamie Carr, as long as she's all sorted out from everything that was happening from before, I think that's got to be the major bet.
Yeah, I'm with you, Phil. 2 players in the race. A lot of history will tell you the top weight struggles to win the railway. There's no denying that. But Tuvalu, for me, is one of the better credentialed top weight horses we've had in recent memory. I love the fact that Lindsay came out and said he's been training this horse to the minutes for the race. And for mine, he's just the kind of horse with his racing pattern that has always screamed railway horse. And he brings, as you touched on, form around the best weight for age horses we have in the country. And some will question the format of that last start in the Crystal Mile, but Jamie Carr got her tactics wrong there, and she put her hand up straight away. He's not the kind of horse you can just amble them along and turn it into a sprint home. He needs to utilise his high cruising speed and really get them rolling and uncomfortable from the 600. And I don't think he's as good as Scales of Justice, but with that run, he's going to get up on speed in a strong run, 1,600 metres, which he'll absolutely eat up, mind you. I'm confident he can go very close to being the first top weight winner of the race since Lucky Gray back in 2013, and he was the biggest winner for mine at the barrier draw there as well. So I'm going to have $80 on Tuvalu as my main play in the race, and I'm actually on board with a lot of you boys as well with Dom to Shoot, who presents the best value betting opportunity in the race. And it was a career best effort fresh from him. He's a horse who generally improves markedly first up to second up. And what I love the fact about that replay, boys, is you look at Bustler, who's $10, when he gets out in the straight, he never took any ground off him once he got clear, despite the run that Dom had in transit. So while you always probably query how they bounce out of such a gut-busting run, but I think if Geordie Turner can get a little bit of luck early, which he's certainly going to need to get in that moving line, I think he's well and truly over the odds at around that $23 mark.
Hey, look, mate, I'm asking him for all the luck. I'm wishing him all the luck in the world, Geordie Turner. He's going to need it. But I'm very, very much on board with you. But yeah, so let's do something different. We're just going to go through this is the 90-minute mark of the show. We're just going to go through our current predictions for the Winterbottom Northerly Gold Rush Perth Cup, but we're just going to shoot them out. Boom, 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 boom. So I'll go first. So it's probably not boom, 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 boom. You can give a bit of a description, but that's all right. So for the Winterbottom first, I think it's almost a race in 2. I don't like our local crop at all. Like Rylie touched on before, My Bella May, sucks, and that's probably near the top of our local crop. So I think it's a race between overpass and triple missile. I think they're both being like aimed up toward this overpass with the freshen up will suit, and I think the rail is going to be out about 9 meters, so that really really suits a horse like overpass. And if it's not playing like that triple missile of our local crop, I think Oscar's Fortune is definitely the best chance. The Northerly are going with Zaki with conditions to suit. If it draws well, playing on speed, it's going to be mighty, mighty hard to beat, but it does put in a shocker every now and then. Zaki, I've been there a few times, like Cranbourne Cup Day last year. So I think you have to have something on Super Smink at $6. I'm not sure that Keshi Boom's going to be going to the Northerly by what Garnalana is saying. So, and I know Super Smink definitely is. So I'd like to have something like on that at $6. I'd also like to have something on Autumn Rebel, but it's not in no markets. It'll probably be about 50 or 60 to 1. So if anyone sees that in a market, have something on that. And for the Gold Rush, I think Carly's Karma at $13 looks a nice play. It's come back really well. I'm not sure about the mile this weekend, so that's why I'm not too confident, but I think 1400 is a sweet spot, and I think it'll get him really well in a race like that. Obviously, Ayrton at the 1400 metres is very well suited, but I think I like to steer away from the favourites a bit. And Perth Cup, I'm going with Queen Elena. As mentioned before, I think it's an out-and-out stayer, dry tracksuits go, and it's having a really good preparation thus far, and maybe have a nibble on its closing in. Young stayer coming through the ranks. It looked pretty special last prep. So yeah, that's my opinion on the major races coming up. Luke, what do you reckon?
All right, Winterbottom, pretty obvious. It's hard to go past overpass, especially if it is playing on speed how it has previously. I'm following this weekend, out of our local crop, one that gives me a bit of a Lead Street vibes is Amber Glide, which is one I think 4 on the bounce now. Did it in very similar fashion to how Lead Street did that year, and I feel like it might go around at 20s and 30s again. Could be worth a little sneaky if it even makes the race. I'm not sure if it's in it. Then off to the Northerly, Zaki, Moral, simple as. That should really be
Jesus.
Only has to run up to 90% of what it can, and it'll be beating them. There's literally nothing in the race on paper, minus maybe a Super Spink with low weight down the bottom. In the Gold Rush, I'm with Carly's Karma, like Phil. Much preferred over 14. Think it will run well on Saturday, but 3-week freshen up into this over 14. Draws a barrier, I think, massive chance. Perth Cup's too far out. I could mention the obvious Casino 17. I did earlier mention Holy Enchantment as a black booker. Queen Elena's always around, and it's closing in. It'll be interesting to see how that comes back. But, yeah, that's a bit hard now anyway. Max, what do you reckon?
So for the Winterbottom, I'm going to go overpass. But then again, I also like triple missile because it's further up. So that prep I do prefer. But then again, overpass is better freshened, and Born Baker knows what he's doing with that horse. So overpass for the Winterbottom. Northerly, it's very hard to go past Zaki, but I did like Forgot You. But then again, I'm not sure with the weight. So really, what I'm looking at the moment is Zaki, Forgot You, and Super Smink. And the Gold Rush, I'm not too sure. Look, I've got Ayrton at 18 to 1, so $7 at the moment or $16 at the moment. So that's definitely one that I would follow. But I also like Valor Road if it is going to. I'm not too sure. That horse is absolutely flying at 10 to 1. So you can even get it a bit higher on Ladbrokes as well. But yeah, 2 plays there if you were to look at those 2 horses. And then the Perth Cup, can't go past Casino 17. I think the horse is absolutely flying. Just needs to get a bit of luck and have a good prep towards it. And it's closing in as well in the Perth Cup, so two of them.
Yeah, I'll fly through mine. Winterbottom, I think overpass draws the gates and it looks all over. The Northerly, I'm sitting on a zip away futures ticket, and Keshi Boom, she performs like I expected to again this weekend in the Guineas. I'm personally a fan of the 3-year-olds year on year with the weight they get, and I think I'm against you a little bit there, Phil, in the fact that I think there's a bit of quality in the top end of our 3-year-olds this year, not particularly the depth, the top end specifically. So I'm interested to see how they line up, especially bouncing out of the Guineas this weekend. Gold Rush, I think Munamek and Ayrton look genuine winning chances as Raiders. Keep an eye on Varstart first up this weekend. As I touched on a little bit earlier, who for me looks every bit a group quality animal. And in the Perth Cup, Casino 17, clear top seed. But even if he does turn the tables this weekend, don't rule out another Cheeto as they get out a bit further in trip.
Right on.
Beautiful. We missed you for 2 seconds there, Riley. It sort of cut out, but as you were talking about, I believe you said zip away in the northerly. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Zip Away, and also Keshi Boom, the 3-year-olds I do like. If they do head to the Guineas, I like the fact that they get in with the low weights, and the top end of our 3-year-olds I think have some real quality.
Beautiful. No worries at all. All right, so let's get into our best bet, value, and lays of the weekend. So what we'll do, we'll go on the order of myself, Luke, Faux, Riley, and we'll go through each of them. So first off, our best. I'm going to go... I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. So I'm going, my best bet of the day is at Morphettville.
Oh, you lost.
Race 5, number 1, the map at $2.35. It is drawn absolutely perfect.
I hope you've done the math.
I definitely haven't, right? So barrier 4, drawn perfect, relishes the 2,500 metres. Class drop, flying this prep as big targets, you know, in the coming year. They're wanting to put it towards the Melbourne Cup, Corfu Cup, which is a bit of a stretch. But I think it's a smart horse, and will take the piss out of these. Luke.
So my lay of the day would be the map.
No, it's best bet. No.
So best bet. This is quite short. Like, it was actually hard to find one. I've gone Dubin race 5, number 3, Midnight in Tokyo. It's about $1.80.
Yeah, fair
a bit
enough.
short to back it straight out, but I chucked it in a multi. I backed it the other week and it bolted in. So Faux.
I actually like my best bet this week for once. I've got Ascot race 2, plays with fire, Pikey on board.
Oh,
Back the last start. It's going to be absolutely steaming. I can get on $3.70.
good bet.
Yeah, I'm really keen on one as well. Nice and early in and out job there at Ascot on the weekend. Race 1 at number 3, I believe it is, Diamond Scene. It should be winning the first for me. Love the progression this stayer is on. I think it may be 12 months too early, but he's a Perth Cup horse in waiting for Bob. And if you've seen him in the yard, he's a massive lump of a horse. The rise in weight won't bother him. Gets pike, should lob in a lovely spot in running here. And for me, he's the class stayer of that field and keeps winning. Going to be very hard to beat again.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Fair enough.
All right. On board there for sure. Luke, Midnight in Tokyo, 1350. What do you reckon?
What? So the distance.
You think it was 1,200?
No, I know it's 1350.
Yeah,
No?
good.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure you're reading it. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's move on.
I wish it was $2.50.
My value bet, I actually think this got backed in like a shit ton, but I could be wrong. Kem the Grange, the other good track of the weekend. Race 5, number 5, Cuban Grand Chico at $19.
Yeah, I've got that.
Right, this is stayed at 1,200 metres twice this prep. It's a 1,400 metre out and out horse. It's been absolutely huge against the track pattern twice, this stupid track pattern that's been happening. My money's been on it twice. Finally gets to 1,400 metres, trained at the track, absolutely screaming out for it. Huge chance at $19. Massive odds. Luke, go.
Mine comes up at the other sick track, Cranbourne. Race 4, number 8, Ballynor at about $14 at $3.40 a place. This thing was massive last start from well back. It was 24, coming off a 2,400 metre maiden win. It was back to around 22, and now it jumps back to the 25, which I think will suit it. Those extra 300 metres might be the difference between winning and losing. I think it looks a nice each-way play. In a shit race, to be fair, but Faux.
I actually was going to do Cuban like Phil, but I've changed mine. My best value is Kembla Grange race 8, number 14, Dehon Unicorn at 15 to 1 and $4 a place. I like the way it came back against quick tempo. It was off the track almost and wide throughout most of its run. $15, definitely take that. Gets the lowest weight possible, 52 kilos. Has versed the Furyk before. It has a massive weight swing on it, and I think it's come out really well. So second up there, take it.
Yeah, my best value I've touched on already, so I won't need to go too deep into it. But race 7 WA Guineas there on the weekend, Zip Away. Best value, really good each way bet.
Beautiful. Now, this the worst part of the podcast, Riley, I don't know, you probably haven't seen my strike rate on lays is absolutely horrific. Just back on everything I lay. So my lay of the day and everyone else's best bet is going to
What was
be
your best bet again, Phil?
the map. They
He had younger last week with his lane and fucking bullet bolted it all.
One like wings.
And
Yeah,
I was
one
on,
like
and I
wings.
was on, and I was on counting
You're
the
War
sessions.
Gym. Oh, yeah, War Gym or Count the
oh,
Sessions?
count the sessions, just
Counting the
not.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same. So my lay is I didn't put the race number in, probably not to embarrass myself, but it's the toppy of the race. It's number 1 Brave Mead at $2.60. He's laughing.
They'll lose. They'll actually lose.
No, I'm pretty confident.
The prep has been all over the place. It's going up, down, this, that, and distance. They don't know what they're doing, I reckon, even though it's Kieran Mahan, Dave Eustace, isn't it? They know what they're doing. It's carrying 60 kilos. It's a terrible field, but I just think it's backing up. It's all over the joint. I don't know. I'm laying it.
No, I like it. I like that.
Mine's a bit of a controversial one. Comes up in Ascot, race 3, number 6, Starry Heights at 370. I prefer this horse over the mile, and it's yet to run a drum first up. It's also up in grade, and Pike can't win every fucking race, so you got to pick one that he loses on.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm also with Brave Mead, lane Brave Mead race 2 Cranbourne. Just don't want the prep. Going back to 200 metres, I feel like they've just got no idea what they're doing. The horse needs to spell. And I like Wiggum as one of the best bets in the Cranbourne card, so I reckon it's going to roll it.
Well, there you go. I'm making a splash with my first lay of the day, and I'm taking on Pike in the last there at Ascot on the weekend with Triple J, who's my lay of the day. It's $3.40
I like that.
favourite. I think he's a really nice horse for the Pierce boys, but he's going to need an utter special from 16 of 16 in that capacity field. So I just can't work out for the life of me where on earth Pike gets to from there. So close to $3 where he is currently. I think that's way under the odds.
Yeah,
no, that's a good lay. Fingers crossed for you, Rylie, so you don't get the Phil curse. But yeah, look,
Phil, I've only lost one lay out of all the episodes, so you're probably going to fucking make me lose now.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one. All right, all the best. Brave Mead win by 6. All right. So now best of the rest. So this we're gonna have to shoot through.
They are marks. So.
All right, so we're going to say the race numbers and the names, and that's it. Otherwise,
do per track, but just do it per track so you don't
Okay, so first off, we'll go Cranbourne.
Yeah.
For me, race 3, number 1, Revolutionary Miss. I won't explain it, but that's one of them. Race 5, I've got a Tommy 2 play. Number 13, Pink Bow Tie at $9. And number 7, South of Houston, also at $9. Race 6, I've got number 2, Miss Middle Park at $5.50. It's probably my best bet at Cranbourne. And then I've got race 7, number 6, Matron Bullwinkle at $7. Very much suited up to the 2,000 metres. Luke.
All right. I've got a fair bit here. So race 2, number 6, Climbing Star. It was slow to recover at the mile last start. I like it back to 14, and it was knocking on the door.
Say the names, you idiot.
Say the names, yeah? Say the names.
Say the names. No. Say just the names.
Race 4, number 3, Yellow Brick Road. Nosed out by my boy Grant Pierre, ran well. Race 7, number 1, Gremolino. If the cunt runs straight, it will win. It is poorly weighted. Race number 8, Rash Mary each way. If the rain hits, get on each way. Race 8, number 6, Rich Fortune. Was average first up, but with a lot of speed, I think can finish over the top. And a Tommy 2 playing the last. Number 3, Oceans Above each way. This is the best each way bet at Cranbourne. And number 5, Jimmy Star at $2.60.
Fair. Shoot through them.
Race 2, number 2, Wiggum. Race 3, Revolutionary Miss and Climbing Star. 2 played there at $9 and $4.80. Race 5, South of Houston's $8. Race 6, Free Willed, first up, $4.50. Race 7, Glentanis, I can't even say the word. Glentanis at $5, number 10. Race 8, Midwest, number 3. And race 10, Jimmy Star, $2.80.
For me, at Ascot on the weekend, we've spoken about most of my best bets already, but I just want to bring up a couple more. Race 2, King Sicario each way is an easy each way play for me on that program. Race 4, I'm backing one by 3 here down the bottom. Sunshine TAFE. Each way 1x3. The jump outs have been really impressive. I think that she's way over the odds. And I'll take you to Sunday at Bunbury, boys. Each way play. Race 8 and number 7, Pennies Afield for the Michael Lane stable. I think she's back off the back of her recent trials, and I think she'll be a genuine each way price there as well. So race 8, number 7 at Bunbury on Sunday, Pennies Afield.
We missed after King Sicario because it cut out again.
Well, I can just go through. Did you get Sunshine TAFE 1x3 in race number 4 there at Ascot on Saturday? So race 4, Sunshine TAFE in the babies race 1x3, more on the place. And then at Bunbury on Sunday, race 8, number 7, Pennies Afield each way.
Too easy. Beautiful. That's the Resort Man colours, isn't it? Yeah, the Michael Lane.
Yeah, Michael Lane horse.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so let's quickly run through Kembla. So for me, race 2, I've got number 2, Tribeca Star, $2.50. Tommy 2 play with number 7, Our Orator, $17 a win, $4 a place. Was huge last start, and it's at big odds. Race 5, I also want to have a bet other than Cuban Grand Check. I want to have a saver on number 4, Burning Need, also trained at the track. Race 6, if it's dry, all in number 5, Tazarol. If it's wet, number 1, Lock Eagle at $3.50. I think it's a moral if it's wet. Race 9, number 7, Mabel at $9. It's a bomb fresh, and you've got to have a Tommy 2 play with number 10, Acapella Sun at $14. I'm happy to take on the favourite Emperor. Luke.
I was going to lay that, to be honest.
Right. Race 3, number 8, Contemporary. Also back in race 10 if you get scratched. Race 4, number 3, Miss Hellfire at $7 each way. Race 6, Tommy 2 play with number 1, Lock Eagle at $3. And then the 5, Tarazel. But I think this might get scratched. I read it today. Race 7, number 10, Banju at $101 and $26 a place each way. Race 8, Tommy 2 play. Number 6, Dragonstone at $5.50 and number 8, Insurrection at $7.50. And then in race 9, another Tommy 2 play with the number 5, Headwall at $5 and Mabel each way at $9 and $2.45. Bomb fresh. Faux.
Race 1, number 10, Lyrical Gangster. Race 3, number 8, Contemporary. Race 4, number 3, Miss Hellfire. Race 5, number 5, Cuban Ganaccio. Race 6, number 11, Deficit. Race 9, number 5, Head War. And the Tommy 2 play with number 9, Squad. And race 10, Mars Mission, who absolutely ruined me last time for my multi-ins in a black book. So $10 there.
So the Cuban version of
I hope you
Ganaccio.
blokes have found me a few winners. I hope you blokes have found me a few winners at Kembla and Cranbourne.
You did go fucking hard, Neil.
You're going to be the only one listening to them, Rylie, because no one else will be listening up to this point.
Well, you might get 15. You might get 15 tips wrong.
So you were saying, Faux, Garnacho, the right wing for Manchester United. All right, let's go on to Doomben before everyone falls asleep.
What is it? Good.
Oh, don't even worry about it, Faux. You'll never get it. You're done. All right, so let's go Doomben real quick. Here's a few Doomben tips for you, Rylie, not as many. So we got this, I think, is an absolute moral. So race 6, number 14, Madame Odette, $3.50. This horse was just too far back over an unsuitable trip last up. Second up and trip, good draw, hard to beat. And then race 10, number 8, Ralphie, each way. $13 a win, $4 a place. Absolutely humongous first up. Was in a really good vein of form last prep, and I think it can continue its ways. What?
Say the numbers, man. Fuck, who cares?
Wait, what?
Just say the name. Oh, yeah, you idiot.
Ralphie.
4 hours.
Yeah, go.
Oh, something about 17 tips.
Oh, come on, hurry up.
Race 3, number 2, Launchpad each way, $18, $4.80 a place. Race 3, number 9, Miss Tambor at $8.50. Race 6, number 6, Happisburgh each way at $16 and $3.80. And the best bet there, race 6, number 14, Madame Odette Race 7, number 1, Comrade Rosa coming out of the Black Book. Race 7, Aureus Angel at 7.50.
Wow.
Race 8, number 4, Irish Songs each way at $10.20 a place. And race 8, number 6, Tumbler Ridge each way at $13 and $13.30. Race 9, number 10, The Catch at $5. And my best value bet at Dubin, race 10, number 11, Gemelli each way at $41 and $6.50. I don't know how the fuck it's that price, but anyway, go on for
You must live in Brisbane because holy shit, fair enough. So, race 1, number 4, I Am Emperor. Race 4, number 1, Golden Decade. Race 7, best bet on the card, number 1, Comrade Rosa. And race 10, number 17, Liquor.
So you mean I Am Empire?
Yeah, why?
You combine into horses for fuck me.
Anyway, is it called I Am Empire? It is, isn't it?
I said I Am Emperor. Anyway, moving on. Doesn't matter. So,
I Am Emperor, whatever else.
Anyway, all right. You have a speech impediment or something. You got to get it sorted out. Anyway,
is it I Am Emperor? I've got it on my phone.
Yeah, don't worry. All right. So now, just quickly, Ascot. I've only got one bet at Ascot. Falcons' best bet. Race 2, number 9, plays with fire, $3.70. Horses going super, 1400. Pikey Sticks, good draw. Best at Ascot for mine. Luke.
Yeah, I got no more in Ascot. Do you have Morpherville or not?
I've got Ascot and Morpherville. Yeah.
I'll just say his Falcons is gone. I'll just say because I got none at Ascot. Race 4, number 5, Danny's Fortune at $12. Race 5, number 5, Camford each way, which I black booked earlier in the potty at $21 and $4.80. Race 7, number 5, Ocean Reward at $10 and $2.90 a place. And validated in race 7 as well, number 7 at $7.50 and $2.30 a place.
Yeah. Do you want me to say Ascot or Morpherville?
Do both. Go Ascot and then go Morpherville.
All right, so Morpherville, I got your best bet. Race 5, number 1, the match. But that's it. Never had a bet at Morpherville, but looks all right, to be honest. Then moving on to Ascot, race 1, number 3, Diamond Scene, but also having a saver on the Playhouse Patron, because that's absolutely flying, to be honest with you. So I do like that horse, and it finally steps up into more distance. Race 3, number 1, Bruce Almighty, and race 9, number 8, Capricorn Man. Maps really well here, and I do like it each way at 10-1.
Beautiful. So we got through that. It'll be good that I'm probably our mums listening now, our dads, and that's about it. So that's good. So hello to everyone. Haven't seen them in a bit. All right. So now, really quickly, let's go our multi for the weekend. We're going to have a leg each. We haven't done one of these before. I'm personally going to put it on, but we'll see how we go. So I just put in first leg, the map to win at $2.35.
Oh, so we already fucking lost.
Are we doing places or wins? What are we doing?
You can do whatever you want.
I'll go next then. I've gone Dubin race 9, number 10, the catch to place at $2.
4.
Yep. Jack?
I'll go Kembla Grange race 3, number 8, Contemporary at $1.60 to place.
If it gets scratched, will you do?
It'll go. If it gets scratched, we'll go.
In the last.
No, that's it. It's all right. We'll do it in the last.
If that gets scratched, it plays a 5 for the win. Ascot race 2.
All right, it's a big
Ascot for me, boys. Ascot race 1, number 3, Diamond Scene, the win.
Yeah.
What's that paying? $2? Is it $2?
$2.60, I think. $2.65 around there.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, fuck. We can do that.
All right. So we are looking at a 20-1. Yep. Moldy at 20-1. All right. So chuck someone. I'll have a 50 on. I'm in 1,000. Easy money. All right, guys. thanks for joining today. Keep Punting Podcast. Rylie, thanks heaps for joining. You're probably tired now.
Bedtime.
You won't get as much sleep tonight as usual. I hope you enjoyed being on the potty. We'll be happy to have you whenever you want to come on. And, we really do appreciate it.
No, it's been great, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure. And hopefully a few winners over the weekend.
We definitely have a lot of tips, so we better have a few winners. All right, guys. All the best. Keep punting and gamble responsibly.
Cheers, boys. Thanks, Rylie. Cheers, boys. Cheers.